Hello again, it's April here, and today I've got a little scanning and editing video for you. This was actually part of a larger video I'm filming for my birbfest video, and this section of the video was about 20 minutes long, so I figured I could make it its own little video so it could interest people that want to know more about how I scan things and edit things, or yeah, burbs, if you like burbs. So I'm going to be scanning in this page here. It's a beautiful page of burbs, if I don't say so myself. There is some neon here, which it will not come up on the scanner, and it will not come up very well. So we have to be prepared for these disappointments. It's going to happen. I did film this in vlog style. It's not really like a tutorial style at all, so it is quite casual, but I'll pop in little ticks chapters so that you can find what you're looking for, and I'll see you at the end. This is my new scanner. It's an Epson. It's an Epson. Well, I'm glad that we've established this in Epson. It's an Epson Perfection V392, and I got it like maybe a month ago because my other scanner, it broke. Okay, so here is my birbfest sketchbook, and I need to scan in the last burb, which is the Cuban toddy, this little guy here. The problem is with this sketchbook, it's really annoying because it's just over A4. So normally when I scan, I do 3 scans. I do like the right page, the left page, the center page. But for this book, I need to do 6 scans. The right page, the left page, the center, and then at the top, the right, the left, the center. And it's very annoying, yes. And I actually remembered this from the last time I did scans from the sketchbook. And I was like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't use Pith anymore, but I love Pith sketchbooks, so we're gonna do it anyway, and we'll just struggle through it. And it's not that exciting, but I have had people ask me how I do my scans, so I figured I would show you them. It's very, I have been using Photoshop since I was like 17. So yeah, I've been using Photoshop for a long time, and with each update I mean, old horse, new tricks, am I right? So I just do things the old way. There's probably better ways to do it. It doesn't matter, let's scan. The thing I really love about this scanner is you can take the lid entirely off, which I always forget how to do, but a little bit of brute force is fine. And then you can kind of take the entire lid off, and then you just give it a little very professional wipe with your sleeve. And then we can begin the scanning. So one thing about scanning in artwork is losing the neons. So this page isn't going to come out as vibrantly. Do you see the neons here, here? I knew this going into the thing, to the whole birbfest. I knew it was going to be a thing. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm mad about it, but it's not a problem. So normally I leave like a heavy book on here or something, but I'll just press down just like lightly to make sure the pages don't plop up. And then on Photoshop, if you don't have, so I get images from device. It's different on the PC and the Mac. I'm on the Mac right now, so I get images from device, and then it brings up my scanner. This is the window, how it pops up. This is the DPI, and I'm picking 600 for my sketchbook, and I'm popping it into birbfest, my folder. And then you have to like select the area, so I selected the whole screen, and now we're going to scan again. So then for the top slivers, so basically you can see on here it's cut off the T and the L, so it just kind of like cuts across here. So it's not a massive deal, but I'm still gonna get the top. So I kind of just bring it down a little bit because this is where A4 is here, so I just kind of like bring it down just to make sure I'm getting it. And then I get the image box and I drag it down just so I get the top, and then I just scan again, and it goes quicker because it's only scanning like a little bit of the page. Now we have all of the images open. So we've got they're all upside down, don't worry about that. We've got the left, the middle, the right, the middle, the left. So if we go to File and Automate, we can use the power of technology to do something that would and has taken me hours of my time to do, which is stitch them all together. So I go to Auto and I go to Add Open Files, and it's going to add all the scans in that we have open in Photoshop. And then it's going to work its magic. So before, I used to do this all by hand. I'm sure if you guys have done it before, you know how tedious it is. You basically have to get all the layers. You have to kind of like lower the opacity. You have to rotate them all, move them, nudge them, stitch them. And now look, bish bash bosh. Is that a saying? Bob's your uncle and Babby's your aunt. So I can close all these scans down now. And we'll just have this one untitled panorama open. So I'm just going to rotate it and give it a little crop. Like this, should be fine. And now we have the scans. So the first thing I do is, I don't know if you can hear my mouse. I don't have my mouse pad. It's over there. I'll get it because it's really annoying. So the first thing I do is just pop a little white page under here, and you have to excuse me because I use my PC all day and I always forget the shortcut keys. So I use my PC all day, and my fingers, because I've been using Photoshop for so many years, my fingers know the keys better than my brain does. But when I come up to the Mac, obviously the keys are a little bit different, so it always takes me a while to get into the keys, and it happens that sometimes I'll use my Mac upstairs all weekend for like doing scans and things, and then I'll go back downstairs to use my PC for work, and I would have forgotten how to use the PC again. So it's just one of those things. It's highly frustrating. So basically what this Automate does is it stitches it together. You can see it does it really well. So if I unhide all of these and I just bring one back, we'll start actually with these top three. Bring them down because these are the main ones. So it kind of makes them really jaggedy. See, I'm zooming out when I want to zoom in. It kind of makes it jaggedy like this, like it just like makes a jigsaw puzzle. So you can kind of see here on the wing here, it makes like a little jigsaw, and it pops it together like this. So this works pretty well all of the time. But I have noticed in the past that sometimes it doesn't cut where I'd want it to, and it has some blurry parts in or some darker parts in. So I've just been spending an extra minute just going through, taking all the masks off. So these little squares on the side are masks, and what's white you can see and what's black you can't see. Here you can kind of see on the side here the black and a little splotch of white, and that kind of shows you the mask here. So if I was to make this white mask entirely white, it shows everything. If I make it entirely black, it hides everything. That's just how the masks work. So basically, I use the merge function to place everything perfectly. I could probably just leave it like that, like I mentioned, but I have noticed some things in the past, and I would just prefer just to know it's good, because it's really annoying sometimes to kind of go in afterwards and maybe you're editing like this close, but then you go in after and you touch something up and you realize, oh, it's actually really blurry. That's very annoying. So what I've been doing is I basically have the left side, right side, and then the center. And then on the center image, I take the mask and I make a big brush. So big brush like this, zoom in, and then you can see here it's kind of dark and blurry. So we want to get rid of that. We want it to be nice. So if we just make sure we're using the right color, which is the black, we can start to hide the shape. And you see the line here, this is where the page is. Basically just like taking the line and you're just hiding stuff. It's very easy. It's very simple, guys. I can do it. I can do it, and I'm very computer illiterate, even though I work all day on the computer. I'm not. I'm actually a genius, a computer genius. Don't tell my boss that, otherwise he'll give me more work to do. So this is basically all I do. I mean, it doesn't take long. It takes like 2 minutes. It's just so I can just double check everything's nice, you know. And then at the top we got the left, the right, and then the middle, and we can do the same. So with these ones, I've actually been going in and just doing like a little at the bottom, just to kind of get rid of anything crazy. And then the top, we just do this and this and zoom in. So you can see there's like, if I do this, there's some lines here which aren't the best. And honestly, this top bit is probably not even needed. So it's not even that, like, oh, wrong one, wrong layer. You don't even need to use it that much. It's just to get the words in. And then we go. And then if I zoom in, everything should be pretty nice. And then sometimes if I notice if like this word here is blurry, you can kind of see what one's better. So see how this is super clear, but it actually doesn't include everything. It's very annoying. So that's pretty much the best we're gonna get. And now I take all of these images, and so the first part, well, the first step is scanning, second step is like stitching and merging, and then the last step is editing the scan. So for that, I want to make all of these layers into one layer, but I just keep a backup. So I put them into a little group here, and then I duplicate that group, and also I duplicate the white page underneath, just so I know that I've got a solid white background, and I merge them. So I'm using shortcuts and everything. This isn't a Photoshop lesson. I use a lot of shortcuts. I wouldn't even be able to tell you what they are. My fingers know them. I just follow my fingers. I think that was Control E to group them all. Okay, so now we've got this lovely page here. It does have some problems, like up here, you know, it's got this line down the middle. Some people keep that line in their sketchbooks. I personally always take it out because I don't like I'm always worried the line's not going to match up to the line of the zine. This is the first time I'm going to be doing a zine where I do the full sketchbook page. Normally I cut out each individual bird and I place them on the page separately. But this one I'm going to do straight sketchbook zine for the sketchbook pages. I don't want the sketchbook line in it though. I don't like the sketchbook line. So you can use layer thingies down here to put on top. So everything is unedited, like there's a word for it. I forgot the name. I forgot the word for it. Not destructive. I don't care. I am destructive by nature, so I do everything on the layer. Just hope for the best. Okay, so what I'm going to do, very first thing, is I'm going to basically get rid of all of the page. So if I just show you, this is the page here, and this is the white. It's kind of hard to see. If I take my levels out and I darken it, you'll be able to see the page there. So you can see the line of the page. So basically I just want to get rid of all of the white. So I just take the right hand side, which makes is the lights, and I drag it across. There's heaps of ways you can do this, I'm sure. Curves, you can put a white layer underneath it and you can like do some crazy stuff with things on top. This is just the easiest way for me and I like it the best. So I basically just drag it across until all the white is gone. You don't want to drag it too far, because if you drag it too far you start to lose all the other colours. So, and you can kind of see like on the curve level almost the area where you want to go to, and then I bring in the darks a little bit just to kind of help. And then sometimes, depending on the colours, I shift the mids, but I normally just kind of leave them there. And that's pretty much it. Sometimes there's, excuse you, sometimes there's some problem areas, especially here if I haven't pushed the paper down enough, but it's fine. This one looks fine and all looks good. So we can do a comparison. Let me just, sorry, I'm springing all over the place. If I just unhide this you can see the difference. Not much so far. Another thing you can do if you've been using the scanner is you can go up to image, I normally do this before, image auto color, and it will change the color. It didn't do anything there because the colors are pretty good, but sometimes when you scan something in, it has like a tint, or like it goes a little bit yellow, a little bit blue, or something, depending on your scanner, I guess. But yeah, this one looks pretty good. So now the next thing, okay, so you can see here, actually we have a problem area up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, this is old school stuff, okay? I'm going to copy and paste just so we have just that on its own. And then do the curves just on this little bit here. I don't want to do too much, otherwise you get a square there, see? So it's just like a tiny bit. There we go. And then I'm going to take my favourite tool, which is this one here, Spot Healing Brush Tool. And this one is the supermodel tool. Gets rid of all the blemishes. And basically the way you use it is you just click on things and it makes things disappear. So for the center line here, if I click here and I shift click down here, it'll merge, it'll do its very best to kind of like fill in the gap. Sometimes it's not very smart, but most of the time it works really well. And I'm not really worried about being perfect, if I'm honest. I just want it to look nice, because at the end of the day, like, it's still a sketchbook page. So like there, it took out the O, which is really annoying. Sometimes if you do smaller sections or a smaller brush, it works a bit better. Yeah, that's basically what I do the whole way. So, and then I just kind of go in and tidy up any bits that look, that the tools made it look a little bit dumb. No one's going to have my sketchbook next to this, so they're not going to be doing any comparisons to my sketchbook. So it doesn't really matter if it looks a little bit out. If I like zoom out there, it's kind of hard to see that there was even a line there in the first place. So I'm just going to carry on doing this. Basically I just use a combination of that tool and also the brush just to pop some, just like erase things. And like this is quite, I don't know, there's probably like a lot of more advanced ways of doing this kind of stuff, but if I'm going to be honest, I just like doing stuff I know. So it doesn't bother me. I take out all the worst bits, just like all the little scan marks, just anything that's kind of like distracting. Okay, so that's pretty much done, I think. It's just like it's still kind of got some messy bits in, but I think it's fine. Okay, so like this here. So the only problem is now is it has lost some of the yellow that we had in from the sketchbook. I'm not going to be able to do much about this because a lot of it is going to be mixed in with the green. So like this one here, if you guys remember, it was very, very bright yellow. One thing that I've been doing on my other ones, if I have like a big chunk of yellow, so let's see, ones where they're not mixed in, but the problem is this one here is mixed in. But what we can do as just to try it, I'll show you what I have been doing, is I've been kind of just like really roughly going over the area where the yellow has been. I think it was just up to here, like this. And then I've been filling it with a yellow, which is why that's there, maybe, but actually it needs to be a lot brighter. You never really get fluorescent yellow here. Okay, and then you can go into like your blending modes. You can see if any of these blending modes work. So color burn, it's not going to look the same though. And one like overlay, maybe multiply, one of these like linear burn, multiply, color burn, but it's like, it's not going to look the same at all. I'm actually not going to do this on this bird because I think it looks ugly, but yeah, you can kind of like try different things, see if any of these work, and then maybe take the opacity down. It doesn't look the same, does it? It looks silly. I have done it on a couple of them though, but just when it's like a block colour. So on one of them, see if I can find it, it was like the eye on one of the birds, like the putu. Where the eye was like neon, I would just do it on the eye because it's just like one block of colour. But on here I'll just leave it like this, I think that's fine. And basically that's all I do, and then I just save it. And I think there's actually a problem up here still that I need to fix. Let's see if we can use another tool. There's one here called the dodge tool, which is quite cool. And it kind of does what the levels does. It takes the whites and it makes them brighter, but in like a selection that you use. So you can just kind of like clean up areas like this. Oh, zoom in. Oh, zoom in again. I forgot how to zoom out. Okay, here we go. So I think that's fine. I'm gonna save that, and that is how I do my scans. So I'm not sure how abruptly I ended that segment because it was part of a larger video, but that is the end. That's pretty much how I scan in my sketchbooks and also my originals. I would just do my originals in one though, unless it was bigger. And a lot of my sketchbooks are smaller than Pith, so they're a little bit easier to scan in. Also, I don't use a lot of neon in my sketchbooks, so the colours normally come out a little bit better. But if you are interested in a better, like a more tutorial step-by-step without any rambling in the future, let me know and I can try and create a more in-depth one and go into kind of the different tools that you can use for different segments, because I did mention there's different options that you can do. So if you're interested in kind of like other ways that you can edit them, or that I've done it in the past, let me know, that'll be cool. And if you want to see more burbs, I will be back with a birbfest video next week. I'm not sure what day it is yet. I've kind of gone off schedule. I'm just like posting when I can now. It will have some information about the challenge, about the materials I used, a little bit about my process, and then at the end I'm going to share some of my favourite birbfest artists that I found in the month of January. So keep an eye out for that one, and that's all for me today. Have a lovely rest of your week, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.